is Las Vegas Vantage with your host, Rocky Dickerson.
Hi, welcome to Las Vegas Vantage. I'm Rocky Dickerson with Realty One Group. Now, here on Las Vegas Vantage, we do cover a little bit about the Las Vegas real estate market, but even more important, we also cover the community of Las Vegas and why this is a great place to live. Now, today, our subject is going to be real estate. In fact, today we've got a very special guest with us, Kathy Streib. Kathy, welcome.
Hi, Rocky, and thank you for having me.
Hey, it is our pleasure to have you here. Now, folks, there's a reason I have Kathy on here. Kathy has been a home stager since 2007, and she actually got trained by a gal that I attended one of her classes way back in the 1980s, teaching us how to stage a home. So, Kathy, tell us a little bit about how you got started.
I got started because when we were looking for a home, I saw how people were presenting their own home. And I thought, my gosh, how can they expect anyone to buy this if it looks like that? My husband, who was a builder, heard about staging. He said, you should look into it. And when I did, I took the class and I learned so much.
Well, Kathy, tell me, what are the most frequent mistakes that you see? Because, I mean, after all, when people are searching for a home, most people are searching on the internet these days. Would you agree?
I agree. Did you know that about 91 to 97% of the people looking for homes begin their search on the internet? They are doing all of their searching on the internet.
So those photographs that are on the internet are huge on whether or not that house gets shown.
You may not get an appointment if your buyer or the buyer's agent looks at a photo and doesn't like what they see. And if you don't have a lot of photos, if your photos are only of the exterior.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Now, another thing I've seen here in Las Vegas is I've seen where there may be 20 pictures, but every room is gray or every room is tan. And I personally get bored with it. What do you feel? Do you need to put in like an occasional pop of color?
You know, you want your buyers to feel a connection, an emotional connection to the house. It's not just about price, not just about location. You're absolutely right.
So are there things that you recommend? Let's just say they made the mistake and they painted every wall gray or painted every wall tan. How are ways that you would bring a pop of color?
If you're talking about the living room, for example, add pops of color with your throw pillows. Doesn't have to be a lot. 1 or 2 red or blue or green throw pillows. For the kitchen, you could add a bowl of lemons, a bowl of apples. Flowers help. In the bathroom, I can go and put an orchid and a beautiful solid pop of color towel.
Ah, there you go. Sure. Well, now, when you mention flowers, it is possible to take that too far, right? Because I actually went into one home. There were 20 potted plants in the living room.
I saw that as well in one of the homes I visited, and all I saw were plants. I never saw the room. The key to staging is you don't want anything that will distract the buyer from seeing the space. Too many plants, too many photos, too many things. Those are what distracts. That's why we always say, edit what you have.
Sure. I would imagine that the less of the seller you see in the home, the more the buyer can imagine themselves in the home. And that's probably going to relate in a higher sales price. Would that be right?
You're absolutely correct. I can remember looking at a home once and there was a beautiful family portrait on the wall. And my agent and I stood there for maybe 10 minutes looking at the photo when we should have been looking at the house. And that's why that's why you should remove as many of those personal objects as you can.
Gotcha. So now how about things beyond just the colors? What other things? I mean, do you recommend like having repairs done in advance or clearing things off counters or closets? What do you recommend are most important steps?
The first thing you need to do is address any deferred maintenance items you have, any repairs you need to be made that need to be made. Make sure your light bulbs are all working. As a buyer walks around the house, they have a little mental checklist going. Everything they see is going to add up to what they're going to have to invest in the house before they can make it livable. So you're absolutely right. Address those repairs. Remove, pack up, edit, throw away as many items as you can so that you're not eating up the space. That's what you're selling, not your furniture. You're selling your space.
Yes, yes. And you know, it's funny. When I sold my last house, I went to one of these storage places. They actually gave me the first month free. So I moved out everything that was on a counter, 2/3 of what was in my closets and cupboards, put them into the storage space. And I only need to have it on the market for a week when it sold way over list price. And then I just moved the stuff out of the storage, which I'd had for free that first month, and put it back in my house. So is something like that a good way to increase your profits?
Exactly. That's the smart thing to do. Most storage facilities will give you the first month free or at least discounted. You're not going, if you do things right, you're not going to have that storage unit for, especially in this market, more than a month or two. And it helps you when you get ready to move because you'll know, hey, I really didn't need to live with that thing. And you're not going to bring all of the unnecessary items into your new home.
Nice. Well, Kathy, I mean, we obviously appreciate your experience in the professional world here, but let's get to know a little bit about you personally. I know you've been to Vegas a few times before. What's been something that caught you by surprise when you were here in Las Vegas?
I was surprised at how dry the weather was. I'm from Houston, so it's humid. I'm used to humidity. And when I was in Las Vegas and every block we walked, I had to walk into one of the casinos or shops and buy a bottle of water. I never drank that much water in my life. I loved it, but it took me by surprise. Sure.
And if I remember, I think I heard somewhere that you had an unusual story about gambling here in Las Vegas.
Oh my, I'm not a gambler, but this is how long ago it was. This is when you could still play the slot machines where you had to pull the lever down. So I was going to just sit there and I kept pulling because I watched the lady next to me win. And I thought, well, if she can do it, I can. So after about 8 hours of pulling the lever down, I was numb from the end of my fingertip all the way up to my shoulder. Now I understand they have push button slot machines.
Yes, and we also have gymnasiums if you want to build up your right arm now too. So that works a lot better. Well, gosh, Kathy, we certainly appreciate your taking the time to be with us here. I know that you do virtual consultations for folks because you're out in the Houston area. But if someone wanted to hire you to do a virtual consultation for them and help them stage their home, how can they reach you?
The best way to do it, because I always answer my phone and my text, is area code 561-914-6224. It's easy to reach me, and all you need is FaceTime, Zoom, or some kind of visual apparatus, and we'll have a consultation and get your home sold.
There you go. That's great. Well, Kathy, thank you so much for being here with us on Las Vegas Vantage today.
Thank you so much, Rocky.
And we want to thank all of you watching today on Las Vegas Vantage. Remember, if you're looking to sell or buy a home here in Las Vegas, please give me a call. Rocky Dickerson at 702-743-7625. Email Rocky@RockySellsVegas.com. And please subscribe to my video channel.